One of the most important things for you to understand when thinking about your narcissistic family is that it is not personal. Obviously, the behaviors of narcissists could be clearly categorized as immoral, and they do a lot of things that, are deliberately impactful, hurtful, but the truth of the matter is that there is nothing that you could do different. There is no way to mend or repair or save these types of relationships. There are ways that you can coexist with narcissists, but the truth of that is that it really takes a high level of self-awareness. And the truth is also that that high level of self-awareness would negate any real reason. That what you learn is that we have a lot of, moral standards, in terms of like who you're supposed to be as a brother or as a son or a daughter. And our own morality, our own feelings of, duty, responsibility are what open us up and enable these people to continue to, hurt us, take advantage, use us for narcissistic supply. The most important thing to understand is that there is no role that means anything to these people. And the truth is that the love that you want and the types of relationships that you hope to see develop and mature with people over time are just never going to happen. It's impossible. And it's not just that they don't want to do it. You see, it's important to understand that empathy is not what you think it is. You see, when you think about empathy, we think about compassionate, we think about putting yourself in someone's shoes. You see, when you think that's what empathy is, that's obviously the common interpretation, where being empathetic to people is a matter of putting yourself in their shoes, right? But that's not true. They often say that narcissists mirror you. It's actually that you mirror yourself. Because when you're empathizing in this way, it's really more like cognitive empathy because you're doing it in your imagination. Real empathy exists when you're present with people, and if you were present with narcissists, you would be safe. Because the thing that you would notice is that they do not have the emotion behind their behaviors. When they pick fights with you, they're not angry. When they devalue you and act disappointed, they're acting disappointed. That these people lacking normally developed emotion have to emulate behaviors, and many of them are totally unaware of the difference. And why are they unaware? Well, it's because they don't have the emotion, and therefore they can't see the emotion in you either. It's why they can torture you. They can get you into complete mental breakdown, have you crying, and they can just be as calm, cool, and collected as if nothing ever happened. They can go to a therapy session with you, and it would not be very difficult for them to have the therapist looking at you like you're the one that has the problem, because you're the one that's being emotionally afflicted by the relationship. See, oftentimes, like you're in a bad relationship because of them, you think that they're in the same relationship that you are, and they're not, because they're acting. Some of them know. The more sadistic and self-aware ones are completely aware. Some of those people come into your life specifically to steal your light. They come into your life to betray you, knowingly. That they will be envious of you from day one, and they just want to ruin what you have. And so, when you think about empathy, you got to depersonalize the morality around somebody lacking it, because lacking it is a cognitive issue. It is somebody that does not have the emotional framework to see the emotion in others because they've never had it themselves. They cannot understand your love and kindness because they act kind in order to feel good about themselves by watching how they can affect you positively. And they only experience themselves in relationships in terms of how they feel themselves. And so if they feel good in your company, then they associate that with you. but there's no permanence with their emotionality. And so they can turn on you. And if they do something really bad that's irreconcilable, they won't be able to acknowledge it. So they'll have to maintain a position of victimhood. That's often what makes them stalkers and dangerous, is because once they've crossed a certain threshold of violence or they've done something really horrible, the recognition of that violates their grandiosity and their victimhood, and so they can't recognize it without risking further narcissistic injury or mortification. And so, when those relationships turn like that, it's game over, but the most important thing to understand is that as an intact person, when you can get a level of self-awareness where you have resumed total control over yourself, it's way better than just gray rocking, because you'll find that they have no power. They are totally codependent on other people for experiencing themselves, that they need the emotional reactions of others in order to create an experience of their own existence. And so their need for narcissistic supply is more about their own existential needs to remain, that the only purpose of their entire existence is existence itself. And they do not ever have the ability to create from love. They cannot. They're not like us. They don't think about you and imagine a happy future for you. They don't. In fact, your energy, your love, your creativity is something that will become the basis of their envy, even their rage. When you love narcissists, what you're doing is you're violating their victimhood. Here's a person that has to be the victim. They have to be the victim to conceal their inferiority. When you have somebody that is used to always being the victim and you start trying to love and care for them, it's like calling their bluff. You're taking out all the stops. You're helping them get their life together. You're giving them the love that they claim was missing, and that's why they're miserable. And so what do is they have to turn on you. They have to negate it. They have to devalue it, but also they can't see it anyway, that they don't trust it. You see, when you do something kind, often they have to throw a wrench in it to test it. They actually need you to tell them why you're doing it, for them to be able to understand it at all. They have to cognitively understand the intentions because they can't feel it, they can't relate to it. It doesn't make sense. They always think that other people are narcissists because they have to project. They project out of necessity. It's just what their brain does automatically. Your brain automatically forms an understanding of other people just like you formed an understanding of them. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you guys have each other backwards. See, they see you through their lens. They see you as a bad person, and you see them as a good person. And by the end of the relationship, they'll see themselves as the good person and see you as the bad person, and you'll see yourself as the broken, not good enough bad person, because that's what they've been doing the whole time. The way you lose yourself with any narcissist is when you give up on being a kind, good, loving person and you think they took it. No. We lose it in little increments. Take a look at your life. Take a look at the last relationship. All that enthusiasm, all the things you did out of kindness, did you not slowly reduce it? You did something really kind and then that didn't work. And so you can't do that. Then you did this and that didn't work, didn't make them happy, can't do that. And slowly but surely, they chip away at everything that makes you love, everything that makes you your light. So you've got the light and the love, but you also got the little dark. The little dark is the voice in your head that says you're broken, says you're not good enough, says there's something wrong with you. That's the only voice they talk to. So that's all they have. They are the little voice in your head. They're the same thing. That's the only way they exist, in a complete state of dissociation. The voice of dissociation that makes you ruminate in confusion, that makes you think there's something wrong, that is what it's like to be them. That's what they speak to. They speak to your need to be better, so they'll make you feel really good and they'll make you feel really bad. But that's all they could ever do. And none of it's ever real. And so you have to understand, they are not who you think they are, and you gotta get it.